Today we are going to speak on the good and bad planets for all those people who are born in the ascendant of Capricorn or Makara Lagna. This Lagna is ruled by Saturn. If a person is born in the ascendant of Capricorn, then this is the first house. That's why we are numbered it as 1. And once this is house number 1, 2 is over here, we move clockwise, and then this is the 12th house. The easiest way to show the importance of the Lagna in any horoscope is to draw a diagonal line like this. So the moment you see this, then the entire focus goes to this house, because this is the beginning and this is associated with the time of birth. So the number 1 malefic or the functional malefic for Capricorn Ascendant is Mars. The reason for that is Mars owns the 4th house and also owns the 11th house, and throughout this series you would have noted that 3rd Lord, the 6th Lord and the 11th Lord usually was termed as a functional malefic. And moreover, whenever it is a mobile Lagna or what is called the Chara Lagna like Makara Lagna, the other 3 mobile signs are this one, Aries, Cancer and Libra. For all these 4 Lagnas, the 11th Lord is definitely a functional malefic. Mars is the ruler of the 4th house and also the 11th house, and the 4th house is a Kendra, and therefore because of that Mars should lose its malefic nature, but even if it has lost it over here, you can say that he becomes a full functional malefic because he owns the 11th house. And not only that, Saturn owns the ascendant, and Mars and Saturn, they don't get along well. So that is another reason for terming Mars as the number 1 functional malefic. The number 2 functional malefic for this Lagna is Jupiter. And that is because Jupiter owns the 3rd house, you can see it over here, and he also owns the 12th house. But more important is the fact that the Mulatrikona of Jupiter, you can see it over here empty, is in the 12th house, so he will give predominantly the results of the 12th, but the 3rd is also a very negative house, as you can see it here, and that is the reason why Jupiter is the number 2 functional malefic. And the number 3 is the Moon. The Moon is the lord of the 7th house, and the 7th is Marakasthana and also causes great danger or threat to life. So the lord of the 7th is usually bad for that reason, but more important is the fact that Saturn, the lord of Lagna, does not like this planet, this graha, the Moon. So that is also perhaps another reason why the Moon is described as the 3rd functional malefic. The best of the functional benefics for this Lagna is Venus, because Venus owns the 5th house and owns the 10th house. This one is a trine or a Lakshmi Sthana, and this one is Vishnu Sthana, the Kendra. So whenever one planet rules one of the trines and one of the Kendras or the squares, then that one becomes the best of all planets. So Venus is undoubtedly the best one, and closely following is Mercury. Mercury rules the 9th house, and the Mula Trikona of Mercury happens to be here, and so he gives predominantly the result of the 9th house. So you may wonder what happened to the 6th house, and it is in this context I would like to tell you that whenever a planet owns the 6th and the 9th, then surely the 9th gives more results or more positive results. It suppresses the nature of the 6th house, and therefore you don't have to worry about this. And so Mercury is called a Yogaraka, a functional benefic for this Lagna. What about the Sun? The Sun is the lord of the 8th, like in the case of Sagittarius Lagna. Moon was the 8th house lord and Moon was neutral. In the same way, the Sun is also a neutral. So the Sun, despite being directly opposite or by nature opposes the ascendant lord Saturn, despite that the Sun is declared as a neutral for all those born in the Lagna of Capricorn. The other one is Saturn. So Saturn is not considered a benefic, and Saturn is also not considered as a malefic, but Maharishi Parashara gives a clue that Saturn can become bad because he rules the second house, and the second house is a Marakasthana, a high tension house, a high stress house, also causes risk and danger to life. But Saturn is also the lord of Lagna, and for that reason Maharishi Parashara has not classified him either here or here, and he has left it to us to find out on a case-to-case basis whether Saturn is really bad or not bad. Some of you may wonder why Mercury, though being the lord of the 6th house, has been termed a functional benefic. That is because the 9th house is considered a greater trine, a bigger trine, so that is the reason why Mercury is considered as a functional benefic. But what really happens during the dasha or the bhukti of or what we call the planetary periods of Mercury is that when the dasha starts, the initial time of Mercury will give some negative results because he is the lord of the 6th house, and after some time it gets better, and then it does the job of the 9th house. So it's very important to note that whenever a planet rules one good house and one bad house, how do you find out when what happens? So usually if there is more of positive and less of negative, the negative happens first, and later on it is always good. That's how you'll have to read when it comes to the planetary periods. Why is the lord of the 11th house bad? It's not the 11th house, the house of gain. Always when we are talking about the functional benefics and malefics, we give a lot of importance to the lordship of houses. It is not about the house itself. For example, a planet placed in the 11th can give very good results. But the lord of the 11th, during his or her dasha, always gives obstacles in income and fulfillment of desires. And what happens is, each time you will have to look closely into the horoscope and find or reconfirm whatever you have just now seen. It is not that with this everything is over and you have quickly understood which graha is going to give you the good results and which one is going to give you the adverse results. But that's not the point. This is just the starting point, and once you know this, you have to move ahead and find out much more. If you have any doubts, you can let me know of them, either by entering the comments or sending me an email. And whenever I find the time, I'll be glad to answer them for you. Thank you so much.